Would you like to discover more about a crop that is easy to grow, highly suited for kids, and is incredibly healthy, and on top of that can be harvested within 10 days from sowing? I mean, who wouldn't? Microgreens. They offer all of that and more. I'm David, and you're watching Grow Mad. Plant-based foods are a big topic at the moment and are totally in vogue. And there's new kids on the block. Microgreens. Sometimes known as vegetable or herb confetti, microgreens are positioned between sprouting seeds, which are grown for their shoots, and baby leaf, which are allowed to reach a larger size. We are all familiar with cress and mustard, which most of us will have grown as kids, but the range of suitable subjects is extensive. These uber quick growing subjects can be ready for harvest in some cases from as little as 7 to 10 days. They are super easy to grow and make an excellent entry level into growing, especially for kids. There's much to cover, so let's glimpse into the Lilliputian world of these diminutive vegetables and herbs in miniature. Most vegetable and herb species can be grown as microgreens, and the range includes alliums, brassicas, salads, as well as flowering subjects and of course herbs. Some of the most popular and nutritious subjects are listed here, with cabbage, kale, radish, peas, fenugreek at the top of many growers' wish lists. Before we start, let's gather some equipment. It's not very sophisticated, so don't panic. You're going to need a container to grow your microgreens in, a growing media for the roots to get stuck into, something to water them with, and of course the microgreen seed. Do not get seed that has been chemically treated, so buy organic if possible. So let's take a look at containers. Of course, you can just use a straightforward pot. A 7 or 9 centimetre is perfect. As an alternative, why not upcycle, recycle some plastic containers from the supermarkets? This had button mushrooms in. Why throw it away? Maybe just make a few holes in it. It's a perfect size. Or use one of these. If you're anything like me, at home you've got a cupboard full of these microwave, freezer, plastic devices. None of the lids fit, do they? Anyway, it makes a perfect little tiny container for microgreens, complete with lid. If you're looking to try microgreens for the first time, you could even consider one of these handy little kits. It comes complete with instructions and everything that you need is contained inside. It's great value. This one is from Johnson's. These self-contained kits are great if you just want to try microgreen culture to see how it goes. Everything you need comes with it. You don't even need compost. It's hydroponic. You just add water. It comes complete with the base, with the 2 growing trays, and even seed is included. 3 packets. Excellent value. Simply take the base, add water into it, about 3/4 full, Add the plastic inserts that will hold the crop itself. You will need to just add kitchen roll to these to soak up the water. Soon as it's soaked, prepare for sowing. Just spread the seed onto the kitchen roll, no need to cover the seed. But our preferred option has to be the mini propagator. You've got the container, you've got the lid, great little unit, fits onto a heated tray. Microclimate for your microgreens. This particular product is available from Garland Products.
So, would you like to know a really interesting thing about microgreens? Bet you would. Do you know they pack more nutrients than their full-grown counterparts? So for example, this and this. These cabbage sprouts contain up to 40% more polyphenols than this. And what do you think is easier to eat?
The best growing medium you can use for your microgreens by far is going to be standard multi-purpose compost. It's clean, convenient and contains all the nutrients you will need. As an alternative, you could use jute. This is from coffee sacks from West Africa. Or you could use hemp or koi matting. And as an absolute last resort, you could even use kitchen roll. But don't forget, these alternatives will contain no nutrient you will need to feed. When it comes to watering, less is more. You can simply have one of these small houseplant watering cans or one of these squeezy bottles. Whichever method you choose, keep it simple. You could even just get yourself one of these bottle top waterers. They're cheap, they're great, last for years. If you've decided to use compost as your growing media, ensure it's peat free. Fill the containers to the top and then lightly press down. We just use the base from, well, let's face it, another unit. Works fine. Level off, make sure the dimples aren't too deep as the seed can group together. Next, ensure the compost is sufficiently wet. Don't overdo it though, these small seeds don't need a lot to start with. You can sow microgreens at any time of the year. Obviously when it's warmer they'll grow quicker. Here we're using a radish, China rose, from the guys over at Sow Seeds, one of our favoured suppliers. They have a great range to choose from. Sow the seed fairly thickly. Go on, don't be shy with it, it's as cheap as chips and you need a good harvest. Ensure that you don't spill any onto the bench. There's nothing worse than getting it mixed up in your compost. After you finish sowing, press lightly again. There's no need for further watering. First watering is totally sufficient. There's no need to cover the seed. Oh, and as usual, don't forget to label. There's nothing worse than having a variety that works for you and you forget what it is. Add the lid and you're good to go. As soon as you finish sowing, Load the propagator and exclude light. They don't need light for the first few days. I just use a bin bag. Also, the propagator doesn't need to be anywhere fancy. I'm just leaving it in the shed. It works fine to start with. At busy times, space on the propagator comes at a premium. If you haven't got room, just stack them up. They're fine for 2 or 3 days. Don't worry, it won't hurt them. As soon as the space becomes available, unstack, put onto the propagator. Depending on the varieties of microgreens that you are growing and the time of year, they should be ready for the initial uncovering after between 3 and 5 days. Some items will be very quick to emerge, such as the brassicas, the cress, the pak choi, but others, including alliums such as garlic chives or leeks, will take much longer. As long as you carry out reasonably successional sowing on a regular basis, you should have most varieties most of the time, and with some experimentation and manipulation of sowing dates, even the slower varieties will catch up. It's amazing to think that these microgreens are only 4 days old, and this is in January. Imagine what they would be like in July or August. This really is a great crop for kids to grow as well. We all know how impatient they are. This is also a good time to give them their first decent watering, but go easy, they're still very delicate. Certainly don't get the fire hose out. At this point, you need to be thinking about improving light levels. We suggest moving to a well-lit windowsill, or you could even invest in an LED grow light. If growing on a windowsill, it might be a good idea each day just to turn the individual trays around so that they don't draw towards the light. Shall we take a look at the individual growth stages? It's not quite a time lapse, but it'll do. Microgreens will add that finishing touch to your salads. Why not dress your must-have lunchtime snack? They work especially well with fish dishes. And add a garnish to your favourite soups. Or simply eat them on their own. Go on, you know how healthy they are. And as always, we love nothing more at Grow Mad than sharing our favoured seed supplies with you. And when it comes to microgreens, it's no different. Within our seed directory there are a great number of fantastic seed suppliers, but our favoured are Sow Seeds, Wild Greens Farm, Grow So Greener and Johnson's Seeds, all fantastic suppliers. So there you have it, microgreens. It's got to be the easiest crop ever to grow, especially for the kids. So if you're looking for something to do with the family this weekend or during the school holidays, go get yourself some seed. Couldn't be simpler. And just think of all those polyphenols. Anyway, thank you for watching. We so appreciate it, we really do. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be great. And don't forget about our website, you won't be disappointed. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the soil.